Hi, I'm Lauren from LSP Actions. In this tutorial, I'm going to take you through a high-end retouch using this beautiful image here shot by Charlie Kaufman. Here we have before. This is our before image when we start. Beautiful lighting, tones and background, exposure, white balance, everything's great. And this is where we finish using the actions. You can see we've cleaned up the skin without losing any of that gorgeous texture, added additional makeup and eyebrow, sorted out certain areas like you see here, there's extra haul here, some of the little pimples and pores on the skin, certain creases, so before and after there. We sorted out different contouring on the lips, brightening the eyes, shading the hairline, and also bringing back detail to this top, which was a little blown out, so we brought it back in. So this is where we start, and this is where we're finishing. So let's remove these layers and get started. In this image, our white balance and exposure and everything's really great, so we don't need to use the digital darkroom section. If you get it this perfect in camera, you don't have to spend time working on your white balance, your exposure, anything like that. So we can get straight down into the skin prep. So let's zoom in on her skin and take a look. You can see here she's got gorgeous skin, but there are some little spots and pimples. So to clean them up, I'm going to use these Savvy Skin Perfect. This action does use the neural filters in Photoshop Creative Cloud. It's a really great feature, as well as some other bits and bobs, some kind of really cool editing techniques I've popped in there to give a really realistic clean to the skin. If you get an error message pop up, it could be because your version of Creative Cloud doesn't have the neural filters installed or enabled. You can simply go on the Adobe Creative Cloud website and just search neural filters, and it will kind of show you, whoa, that brush is huge. It'll just kind of show you how to get them installed. As always, my brush is mode normal, 100% opacity and 25% flow. So I'm just going to lightly and gently work this over the skin. And you can see this is taking care of a lot of those little bumps and pores, just smoothing everything down. I like to keep my brush on 25% flow because it means I can just build up. So certain areas I can just go over really lightly, and other areas I can just kind of brush over a few times until it's done. You see how this is taking care of those pores really well, but it's leaving us with a beautiful kind of natural soft finish to the skin. So I'm just coming over. Another nice action to play if you just want to sort out the blemishes is the blemish and pore classic workflow. This one doesn't use your neural filters at all. This is just a hand editing technique I've put in there, and you can see we can just brush this one over. But for this particular skin, I do prefer using Savvy Skin Perfection. I'm also going to play add texture back to the skin, because sometimes when you have to go over certain areas at 100%, it does mean that it looks a little bit smooth, which is great. But when you're zoomed in at this level, you do want to keep that skin texture in. So I'm just brushing that in, and you can see now we've got this beautiful texture without the kind of ultra silky smoothness. And next up, we're down into the body blemish section, the body enhance. And for this, I'm going to show you a little trick. So you see how she has these folds in her neck. She's super slim, and this is going to happen sometimes. I'm actually going to play the armpit crease card. It's not just for armpits, it's for that style of crease. And this isn't going to remove this at all. We don't want to be removing anything if it's not kind of temporary. But I'm just going to play this, and that is just going to calm down those creases. Can you see that? And you don't have to kind of stop at doing exactly what it says on the tin. I'm also going to use this here on the ear. This is just kind of a super airbrush kind of look. You see that? So we've minimised the neck and the ear hole creases there, using that action, just brushing it over really quickly. Okay, so now we're on to a little bit of makeup. So I'm going to come down. We don't need to colour correct at all. Beautiful colour. Let's go into the lip enhance. I'm going to play a little bit of lipstick colour. I'm just going to lightly paint this onto the lips. You see we're getting that beautiful peachy tone. You can always double click and change the colour if you want to. How about a little bit of lip gloss? Lip gloss 1 is very contrasty, lip gloss 2 is very bright. So I'm just going to play lip gloss 1 because we want to kind of bring that contrast in the lips out a little bit. So I'm just bringing that into the centre. So you can see there, really just kind of change the dimensionality of those lips. Now we're into the eyes. I'm going to play a little bit of kohl eyeliner. So we see here the actual eyeliner itself It's just a little patchy, so I'm just gonna fill that in a little bit here and perhaps pop a little bit underneath the eye. So we're just enhancing what's already there, but you could of course go for a full, you can go for a full makeup look like this. You could add wings, you could do kind of what you want. But for this particular image, I just want to enhance the darkness of what's already there. I'm going to play Iris and Catchlight Enhance and just drag this around over the iris. We don't need to brighten those eyes up at all, just bringing in the iris and the catchlights. Remove Bloodshot is great because that's going to take away or minimise the veins in the eyes. A nice small brush. You see there? And there we go. Now let's go over these brows a little bit here. I'm going to use the eyebrow section. I'm going to use the brow paint, and you can use the included brush that comes free with these actions. I'm going to use the brow brush corrector and just use the square bracket keys to make this about the right size of one of the brow hairs. And I'm just going to bring this in, and that's going to give us a nice crosshatch eyebrow. So you see I'm just painting that over. We also have these other two here, so we can use this one, and you can always change the angle just a little bit to add the odd kind of unique hair in if you needed to. And the same for this side. Just adding just a few hairs in. Now it does look a bit crazy at the moment, but bear with me, because what I'm going to do is come back up, grab a normal soft round brush, set to black, and I'm just going to lighten this. What you can do as well, because we have a shallower depth of field here, just grab the blur tool just to blur that in. So we're just, oh, my dog barking in the background. We just want that effect of just adding in a few more hairs amongst the sparse hairs. So you can see there, we just added a few more in. And I might just, what I'm going to do is just slightly change that mask just a little bit, just to bring it in. I'm just literally right click, transform, and I'm using a warp tool for that one. So we've just added a little bit more definition to the brow in a really natural way. We haven't just kind of gone in like this, for example, with a block colour, although you can do to fill it in. We've gone, let's get rid of that. We've just gone in and added a few hairs in. I'm just going to block colour this little bit here. So we've just filled those brows in a little bit, and following the natural shape rather than kind of a copy and paste stick on brow, we've gone for something much more natural. Next up, you see we have some thinning of the hair here, which can be quite normal when it's pulled back like this. So in the hair salon section, I'm going to play the shade hairline, as it's just going to add some darkness for us. So it's not going to completely change that hairline there, although you could do if you wanted to, using a cloning and some healing and patching. I'm just literally just shading in. So it just takes our eye away from that section. I'm making sure not to go around this background. I'm using a black brush to take that away. So you can see here, just use some white to pop it on. Just a little bit. So you see there, we've just added a little bit of darkness in because I'm not doing a complete change here. Just enhancing what's already there in our image. I'm going to add a little bit of brightness to the face. I'm popping back up to the brush section here. I'm just going to hit brighten up face. And I'm literally just going to bring some of the attention in. Onto the image enhance paint-ons, I'm going to play the highlight saver. Oh, I've just clicked the shadow saver. I'm going to drag that to trash. We don't need that action. I'm going to hit the highlights and white saver, and I'm just going to come over this this top a little bit here with this one, and this is going to bring back some of those details that were lost in the top as it's a little blown out. You see that I'm just rubbing this over. It may not look like a lot, but if I do before and after, you can see that we've brought back the detail whilst keeping those whites. Before and after. Pop a little bit of contour shading onto the face as well. Okay, and that's super cool. And I think I'm just going to go in, I'll show you there our before and after. This is a model edit. Before and after, so we've added makeup, puffed up the brows, sort of the skin, the lips and the eyes, brought back the detail in the t-shirts, calmed down any of the wrinkle areas. If you wanted the super kind of smooth skin look, you could go for the after you've already done Savvy Skin or Gentle Skin, you can play the other one there. So that's going to give another layer of skin editing. We use Savvy Skin in the beginning, so I'm playing Gentle Skin just to come over the top, because it's not like there's anything super extreme going on here. You might just want to smooth and polish that skin up a little more. So you can see here, this is just kind of getting rid of those last little blemishes. Anyway, here, I'm just being quite careful to keep a smooth brush and not go around those edges of the image too much. Just really lightly, not going to go through the lip line, the lashes, or anything. And that's just taking away those last little blemishes. The great thing about these actions is you can build them up. So I recommend starting gently, and you can always go back in after your final edit and think, do I need to do any more to the skin? And like I did in the beginning, I'm just adding a little bit of texture back to the skin using the Add Texture Back brush. So let's see where we started. There's our before and after. That's using the LSP Portrait Vogue Finesse Photoshop actions. I'm just going to go back. The great thing about these is the layers are all here for you. They don't change your background image. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that kohl eyeliner off there on the edge. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So before and after. I hope you love using these actions. You can check out all of the other video tutorials. This isn't the only tutorial. There's plenty of them on there under the LSP Actions website under video tutorials. Oh, I was going to finish then. I've just seen one more thing I'd like to do and clean up the stray hairs on the background. Let's do that a little bit. This is going to get rid of them completely because Photoshop cannot distinguish between stray hairs very well. But what this is going to do is going to give you a really good base to minimise. Can you see that? Just minimising. If you want to get rid of them completely, see that I've just come over. It's done a great job at minimising them. If you want to get rid of them completely, I'd recommend coming down into the manual section and playing the spot healing layer setup. Remove tool. The Photoshop remove tool is great in Creative Cloud. And you can just come over like this. Boop-ba-doo. It just takes a moment to work. The remove tool is over here on the spot healing menu. So you just kind of hover down on that one. See, I'm just stroking this along. It really depends what you want to do. And again, Photoshop is going to kind of, it's going to try and match in, so it might bring in more hairs. In that case, another way of doing it is the patch tool. You can just select, you just want to make sure that you're dragging it to a similar area so that, you know, this background, it's got shuttered lines in the background. I want to make sure that they're kind of adding up. So I'm just dragging, I'm just looking for those little shadows and little highlights. Also very careful not to select the main kind of bulk of the hair there. And you can also use the select and fix option here too, and just drag in. It really depends on the kind of the area you're trying to replace. Another option would be to use a little bit of clone stamp. Sometimes you find you have to kind of do several things at once. You know, it might be a clone works for one area, blemish removal works for another area. It really, really does depend. So I'm just using select and fix there. On the mask. Ooh. I'm just going to use a brush set to black and just bring a little bit of that back in. Okay, so let's see where we started, before and after. Before, after. Using the Portrait Vogue Finesse Photoshop actions, leave everything into your control. Everything is manual, except the actions do the hard work for you. You do the creative part. The actions plus your eye on your image is an amazing combination, so I hope you love them. I'm Lauren, thanks for watching.